We are on this earth to thrive long term. People are using it because they've got a wedding to go to in a few weeks. People are using it because they just don't like the way they look, with zero concern about the long-term health benefits, zero concern about your mental health, and zero concern about the actual reason that we consume food. Hello and welcome back to Life with Danni Duncan, but a little bit of a controversial, potentially, interesting topic today, but I just felt compelled to come on here and talk about it. So let's talk about it. It's the Serena Williams Ozempic fat loss injection saga. Now, I want to start this by saying, I don't care what you do to your own body. What you do for your own body, to your own body, is your choice. But this isn't about that. This is about the message we're sending. This is about our futures, and this is about the potential damage that we're doing. So let's start with it. So I put something on my page, my Instagram page, when it came out that she was promoting the fat loss injections that, let's just be honest here, her husband owns the company. And I felt compelled to put it on there because Serena Williams is an icon. She's the OG. She is the best tennis player in the world. She's the best female athlete, I think, to ever play a game of sport. And I think so many people, and women especially, look up to her. And I think one of the reasons she stands out is because she's always been such a strong role model. She's just been such a strong woman. You know, she's not only mentally strong, but physically that body of hers has gotten her through so much. She's been unparalleled. You know, I remember watching Serena Williams growing up and in my 20s and thinking, look at her legs. They're so strong, and look at her move across the court, and her body is just amazing. And yes, I think potentially it's been scrutinized over the years. Most women's bodies, if you were in the limelight, has been scrutinized. It doesn't matter if you're fat, skinny, tall, short, round, it doesn't matter. You get scrutinized, and maybe hers is the same. However, I digress. So when this came up, I was in shock, to be honest. I was upset, and the major reason I was upset was because my beautiful daughters, two of them, but one especially, Harper, loves tennis. She is a great tennis player, and she keeps telling me and Chris that she wants to be a tennis player. I want to be a professional tennis player. And she knows who Serena Williams is. She, says, she's so strong and she's so fast, and how, does she win competitions, mum? And what does she do? And we talk about, and this is actually the ironic thing we've talked about in the past when, say, Harper's not eating her dinner or something, and I'm going, do you reckon Serena Williams doesn't eat her dinner? Of course she does, because she can't play tennis if she doesn't eat her dinner. Ironically, now I'm like, well, does she even fucking eat her dinner? So to hear that an athlete of her standard has not only decided to take this path and route in her journey, but the things that she said in the clip on Instagram around, now that I'm a mother, it was the extra thing I needed to feel me again, is literally putting down every single mother on the planet. If Serena Williams needs a fat loss injection after having kids, don't we all? Like, if you can't, the most decorated athlete, if you are not able to be the healthiest version of you without a fat loss injection, with your mindset, your discipline, your grit, what hope does anyone else have? I could go around in circles with this topic, so I'm going to try not to jump around too much. But I just want to go back to Ozempic as a drug for now, the GLP-1 drug, what it's for and why I have an issue with it being so used wildly. So, this drug was initially and is supposed to be for diabetics and for the morbidly obese. Basically, if your health is at risk, if you're at risk of dying, this is for you. If your health is actually at risk, this is for you. It's going to suppress your appetite. It's going to help you pass food through quicker and to make you feel fuller, easier. So therefore, you are going to eat less calories. I mean, let's just be really frank. It's putting you in a calorie deficit. So for all those people that say calorie deficits don't work for them, newsflash. That's all that Ozempic's doing, is putting you in a calorie deficit. Anyway, so that's what it's supposed to be used for. Now, over that last however many years, and especially over the last 12 to 18 months, there's been a massive spike in people using it willy-nilly. People are using it because they've got a wedding to go to in a few weeks. People are using it because they just don't like the way they look. People are using it literally left, right, and center. I have a client at the moment who can't believe the amount of people in her small town using it for this quick fix. I need to lose some weight. Let's do it. With zero concern about the long-term health benefits, zero concern about your mental health, and zero concern about the actual reason that we consume food. And food, once again, and we're back in the 90s, has now become this bad thing again. Like, I don't want to eat. I want to suppress my appetite so I don't eat. Guys, I'm just going to remind you that the reason you're able to sit up here and your organs can function properly and your brain can function and you can talk is because you eat food, just like an animal. If an animal didn't have food in the Sahara, it would die. That is what had happened to you if you didn't eat. Food is not the enemy here. It's the education, understanding about what we're putting in our bodies, the issue, where the issue lies. It's not food. And I feel like, once again, food has now become this bad thing and that we're trying to avoid. And I think the long-term mental health sacrifices we're going to make are massive here. I think the potential damage is huge. And again, I've said it before, but growing up in the 90s, we had the waifs and we had, Kate Moss. They even did a Family Guy episode. Do you guys remember that episode when she was like a thin piece of paper and she slipped through the cracks? That's how skinny she was. We looked at the covers of Cosmopolitan magazine and saw these skinny waif-like girls, and that's what we wanted to be like. And how did we do it then? We starved ourselves and threw up. Like, we had eating disorders. And that's exactly what this is. If you are reaching for Ozempic, you have some sort of eating disorder. You have a small mental health issue because you aren't able to find enough discipline, accountability, grit, support. And I'm not judging anyone here, by the way, because I've had my own eating disorders, to actually do this properly with the understanding that we are on this earth to thrive long term. And going for a quick fix, like a fat loss drug, to lose a few kilos, to be aesthetically pleasing, because most of the people that are taking it, that's what it's for. You can't turn around and tell me that the 65-year-old woman down the road is at risk of a health crisis. That's why she's taking Ozempic. Don't tell me she went to the doctor and went, "Oh, doc, I'm like going to die of obesity." That's not what's happening. You go and you say you've tried everything and the doctor is prescribing it to you. And okay, maybe you have tried everything, but you haven't tried hard enough. And God, am I going to get shit for that? You just haven't persisted and you haven't had the right support, knowledge, and education to get to where you want to be. And I'm not blaming anyone for that, by the way. That's not me going, that's your fault. It's not your fault. If you are struggling to lose fat, if you are struggling to understand what your body needs, if you think you're in a calorie deficit or you think you're doing the right things, because I see it all the time. Oh, I'm eating healthy and I'm moving my body and I can't do it. Just nothing's working. I get it. That's not your fault. We weren't taught it at school. That is no one's fault. Right? You don't understand, and that's okay. But before you go and get a fat loss injection that's going to A, cost you fuckloads of money, B, do you even know what the long-term effects are, like bone density problems, metabolic issue problems down the track, not to mention the mental health problems and the understanding of what your body needs? Because if you then come off this drug and your body then goes back to normal, then what? Do you understand how much your body needs to thrive and continue keeping that weight off? Do you understand how many calories your body's not need if you actually want to achieve another goal? And again, I'm not saying that some people aren't doing this in a more safe, supportive environment. There are definitely people out there that are doing that. Do I still think it's necessary for those people that just want to lose a few kilos? No. We have to stop just thinking, I'm just going to take this pill and that's what it's like. Because if anything, what message is that showing our children? I'll ask you right now, would you be happy to turn to your child and say, "You're not losing enough weight, you need to take this fat loss drug"? How would you feel if your child knew you were taking a fat loss drug? Now, if you feel okay with that, then this is not the podcast for you, and I'm not the person for you. And that is absolutely fine. But I can tell you right now, if my daughter or my son ever think that their bodies need an injection or something so drastic to look a certain way, I feel like I would have failed as a parent. I would feel very, very shit about myself. I am trying to empower my kids to love their bodies, to understand food. And I know I'm in a position of privilege when it comes to that because it's what I do as a job. I understand that. I understand that I have all this knowledge, which is why I'm so passionate about sharing that knowledge and education with everyone else so that people can make those informed decisions and understand. So the woman that this is sitting there at 80 kilos that feels like she wants to be 60 kilos, doesn't feel like she needs an injection, that she knows, okay, you know what I need to do? I need to just do some more steps every day. I need to track my food so I understand what's going in my body. I need to have an abundance of nutrients so my brain can thrive. So I'm in the happiest possible state to lose this fat and the best mindset to lose this fat. So when I do lose it, I know I've done it safely, I've done it myself, and I've still enjoyed lots of food and enjoyed food on a level that creates a level of freedom in my life and not a restrictive diet. I just hate the fact that we've got a woman in such power, really, showing women all over the world, young women, kids, older women, that if you want to look a certain way, this is what you do. I just feel like it's damaging. And I feel like as a society, we're losing grit. We're losing something. With AI coming in as well, we are losing hard work. We're losing that real people to people, person to person, hard work gets results mindset. Because everything you want is at the click of your fingers. Want to lose weight? Have some Ozempic. Want to write a novel? Use AI, ChatGPT. Want to make a recipe book? That's what I do for a living. You can go to ChatGPT and create a recipe book now, guys. But you know what? Real tenacity and real grit and real love and passion and deep down love, that's real and that takes hard work, And I feel like we're losing that. As a society, we're losing that. And I feel like when we've got someone like, how awesome would it have been if Serena Williams, I don't know, say she did step out into a new dress and had lost weight, or that outfit she wore in the ad, and she went, I have really started eating whole foods. I've started nourishing my body to reduce the risk of disease so that I'm happy and healthy so I can run after my kids. I'm still moving as much as I did, or not as much maybe, I'm still moving so much after tennis because it's good for my body. Imagine that messaging. Imagine I'd be able to say that. I'd be able to show Harper that and go, Harper, look at your idol. She's eating so many veggies and fruit and grains. Her body's thriving. She's got lots of energy. Her brain is functioning well. And look how great and strong she looks. Instead, I look at her now and I go, well, you didn't do that. And you wouldn't have been able to play tennis if you were doing that. Not like you played. You would not have won Grand Slams on Ozempic. I can tell you right now, she would have lost all her muscle. The reason she did it was because of those amazing strong legs and glutes. Imagine an influencer, or not an influencer, an A-list celebrity, or, a rock star tennis player or whatever coming out and actually showing young women how to live healthy, strong, happy lives. God, that would be a good messaging, wouldn't it? Unfortunately now, I'm turning away from Serena Williams. I don't want Harper to know, because if Harper finds out that Serena injected herself to lose weight, to look a certain way, especially after children, which is a kick in the teeth for us mums, right? What's she going to think? That thought scares me. It scares me because I went through eating disorders and I don't want my children to go through that. I want my children to be like I am now, that they eat food because it's delicious and nourishing, and they have occasional food every now and then because it's yummy, and they eat for those 4 reasons I talk about: nutrition, health, socialization, and enjoyment. And you can still have a lean, strong, fit body without doing all that other shit. I just feel like we're losing it as a society. And when we are able and allowed to promote what is actually a healthcare product from a tennis player, we've lost the plot. We've lost the plot. I implore you, if you are on a fat loss journey and you're feeling like you have no other option but to go and get a fat loss injection, just take a moment to step back. Shoot me a message. I'll give you some free advice. I'll help you out. Because doing it the hard way, although hard, you can do hard things, is so much more rewarding is so much more empowering. You learn so much more, and you've got that for life. And you take that into other areas of your life. When you do hard things, that translates into all different areas. When you can lose fat by yourself because you were disciplined, because you said no to that third row of chocolate, because you went for that walk at 5 a.m. even though you didn't want to. When you do that hard thing, then the next hard thing that comes up, the job interview, the roadblock, whatever it is, you fight because you've got that grit and you've built that grit up and you've done that hard thing. If you're on that journey and you're thinking that that's your last resort, please just stop and think, what is my long-term goal here? What is the long-term plan? What does 70, 80, 90-year-old you think and want? What will they be proud of? Because I promise you one thing, you can take Ozempic, you can lose the weight, but then what? Then what? What have you learned? What have you gained? What is your mindset now? Because remember, looking a certain way is only part of the problem. What you think and how your mind works, that's what needs fixing the most. And once you sort that out, the rest is actually easy. Anyway, if you need help, please make sure you come and chat to me on my Instagram, danni.duncan_. Send me a message. And the next round of Vitality Project starts on the 1st of the month. So I'll pop the link in the show notes. If you need some help, come and join us. I'll help you. It might take a little bit longer than Ozempic, but I promise you I will teach you habits for life. And you'll be so, so proud you did and so proud of yourself. All right, chat soon.